Hello everyone and a warm welcome. My name is Simon and I'll be your host for today's webinar brought to you by Eindhoven University of Technology. Today's webinar has the title of Study a Distinctive Research-Driven and Project-Oriented Masters in Construction Management and Engineering in Eindhoven. Today you will learn what is CME, that is the abbreviation if you haven't known, what to expect during the program and what to expect at the department. Those are the few things that you will hear today, and telling you more will be my lovely panel of two presenters, and I'm sending my greetings to Bauke de Vries, the professor, and Caio Uesarie, the Master CME student. I hope that I pronounced your names correctly, but a warm welcome to both of you.
Hi, Simon. Nice to hear you. We are prepared for the presentation.
Perfect. And perhaps, Caio, you can let us know, I believe that you're in the second year of the master's program.
Yes, I'm now during the second year of the master's program.
Perfect. Most qualified to provide some useful information today. Now they will share their lovely presentation with a dynamic content. And while they do so, allow me to actually mention to the audience that we do have a Q&A taking place. Caio and Bauke, the presentation is almost up on screen. If we can go into full screen. And yes, the floor is all yours. You can take it from here.
Okay. Let me present to you the Master Construction Management and Engineering. This presentation consists of two parts. In the first part, I will present to you the master's program, and in the second part, Caio will join me, and she will share with you her personal experience of living here in Eindhoven and following the master's courses. I assume that the fundamental question that you're facing at this moment is, why study CME? And I try to capture the answer to this very important question in one sentence. You followed a bachelor's in architecture, urban planning, or civil engineering, but you want to extend your knowledge with academic management methods to better understand and control complex urban challenges. The key words here are academic management methods and urban challenges. However, this might still be not very clear, and therefore we prepared a movie for you, which is named Smart Cities. And as you might know, smart cities is really a hot topic today. Everyone expects that in the near future, many more people will live in cities, and this causes big challenges. So, please, Simon, can you start the Smart Cities video?
Okay, with pleasure. But before I do so, just allow me to tell our audience members that the volume should be set locally on their computers. In about 3 minutes, we're going to continue with the presentation. Hope you guys enjoy, and see you then.
All right, what would a smart city be like? I imagine a smart city would use sensors and various technologies to make your city more comfortable and sustainable. These sensors would be everywhere, on the playgrounds, in the streets, throughout your neighborhood. And they would all talk to each other to make your city smarter and to make it think and adapt. But what would that be like? In my future city, I expect I could actually be adding energy to the city just by driving to work. My car would be covered in solar cells, which would generate enough energy to power the whole drive. And when I arrive at work, there would still be enough energy to be sent right back into the power grid. And more than just generating electricity, every piece of technology will be able to talk to each other, so that the city can see an overview of our needs and wants. The city would know how many people move through the day, and with this information, the city would redesign itself to become greener. Because of this, I would arrive at work feeling healthy and rejuvenated, all the nuisances of a city now designed away, and all the great things made even better. And of course, with all these comforts, people want to move to our smart city, and the city will be prepared. The smart city will use career and housing data of people worldwide to predict the future housing and infrastructure needs, and then have it all ready for when the new people arrive. This will happen quickly and on demand thanks to giant 3D concrete printers. And now we have a whole bunch of new people to meet. Let's consider what it would be like to go out at night. We all want a nice night out, and that starts with feeling safe. And what is interesting is that the smart city might be able to make sure that happens, simply by changing the colours and intensity of the street lights at night. For example, researchers are exploring how a bar street might be able to spread people around so that there is a more friendly atmosphere, using only the street lights. We at the Smart City Centre are working together with companies, governments and citizens to bring your smart city to life. Governments help through funding and legislation that is designed to take steps towards our future. Companies are working with us by constantly creating new technologies that take steps towards this vision. And citizens are participating in our living labs to help us design the smart cities they would like to live in. All of us are working together so that we can answer that important question: what is a smart city? Smart City Centre, creating future cities together.
I, for one, enjoyed the video, and I hope that the audience has as well. And now I'm giving the control back to Bauke and Kayo, who will resume sharing their very lovely dynamic presentation, as you'll see in just a brief moment. And again, reminding you, do utilize the Q&A taking place after the presentation. Bauke, the floor is back all yours.
Thank you, Simon. What you have seen in the Smart Cities video applies also to the CME program, and we identify three major topics. The first topic is energy neutral cities. As you might know, due to the summit that was agreed upon some time ago, all cities around the world have to become energy neutral. But of course, this is a big challenge. Secondly, urban management. Urban management is needed to manage cities because cities can be seen as very complex systems that contain both buildings, infrastructure, but also people. And the third theme is building information management. In building projects, you have to communicate between different parties, such as architects and engineers. Therefore, you need standards to communicate effectively. For each topic, I will show you an example from a CME graduation thesis. So the first example comes from energy neutral cities. The title of the thesis was Green Cities, Renewable Energy Technology Allocation. So in this thesis, the graduate student studied how many wind turbines and how many PV panels you need to make this district energy neutral. And therefore, he prepared a calculation that shows at this moment, with current technologies, you can generate about 50% of the required energy. But of course, you need also storage for energy. And for wind turbines, you need space, and PV panels need the right orientation. All these parameters were included in the model. The second example comes from urban management. Here the graduation title was Sustainable Industrial Area Redevelopment Planning Support System. This student developed a system that helps urban planners or urban designers to find the right place to renovate a district from an industrial area into, for instance, a dwelling area. In many cities today, we find industrial areas that become obsolete. Companies are moving out, which cause real problems. In this graduation thesis or project, a system was developed that stores projects from the past, and it also stores whether these projects were successful or maybe not so successful. Then in the future, this knowledge, this expertise can be used for future projects. The third example comes from the theme Building Information Management. Here the graduation title is Model Checking Using Open Standards and Data Platforms. As you can see in the picture here, in a building project, many parties have to communicate about the design, in this case a building. And therefore you need open standards to make this possible. However, this causes a lot of information to be shared, and in this thesis the student proposed how to extract the right information for the right party, because an architect, for instance, needs different information than an engineer. In Eindhoven, there's a lot going on. Here I present you one example, which is from Stripe S, which is a district in Eindhoven that was a former Philips factory district. And we see this as a living lab, which means that there are people living there which actually help to develop this district. And there are a lot of smart projects going on, and three examples are presented here. The first one is smart lighting. So how to manage lighting in such a way that people feel comfortable. The second example is smart parking. How to guide people to a free parking lot using lighting systems or mobile apps. And the third example is smart office. In this case, how a system was developed that helps people to manage their indoor climate in an efficient way so that they feel more comfortable but also use less energy. Eindhoven is located in Europe and in the so-called Brainport region. And the Brainport region is one of Europe's most innovative regions, with many big company names like Philips, ASML, and Shell. The CME Masters program is special in many ways. In the first way, it is special because it is run from two departments, namely the Department of the Built Environment and Department of Industrial Engineering and Innovation Sciences. The Department of the Built Environment offers courses on process engineering, and the Department of Industrial Engineering and Innovation Sciences offer courses on business engineering. And especially the combination of these two fields of expertise make the CME program very powerful, because there's a lot of demand for young people that have the combination of these fields of expertise. The CME program is also very special because it is the so-called 4TU program. The CME program is offered at three universities, namely the University of Eindhoven, Delft and Twente, but of course the focus is different. Whereas in Delft and Twente the focus is on civil engineering, and Eindhoven the focus is on the built environment. However, if you would enroll here in Eindhoven, you also have the opportunity to follow courses in Twente and Delft, if you are interested maybe in civil engineering aspects. So you have really a lot of courses to choose from. Eindhoven is a top-ranked university, and it's located in the Brainport region. It has a strong technological heritage, mainly with Philips, of course, that you probably know. But Philips is not the only company in Eindhoven. There are many other companies, bigger ones, but also smaller ones. And if you are starting your graduation project, there's a good chance that you will be in contact with one of these companies. Of course, you want to know what your career prospects are. On the left side of this slide, you see logos from companies where CME students are currently employed. I categorize these companies into 4 groups. Most CME students find jobs at engineering consultancy offices. In these offices, you will be employed as an expert and you will help other companies for their jobs, which makes it very attractive because you will move from one job and from one company to another. Students are also employed by governmental institutes like municipalities and ministries, again, usually for employment in research tasks. But you can also decide to start your own company. The university provides a lot of support for students to start their own business in new startup. And finally, a lot of students are employed by contractors, big contractors which have satellites in all over the world. I showed you 3 examples of graduation theses, but of course there are many, many more examples. And to get a quick, good insight of what CME Masters actually is, what courses you can take, but also what you potentially could do after you received your diploma, I strongly suggest you to go to the website that is printed at the bottom screen. This website is managed by the CME Student Association, and on this website you find a master thesis database with the complete copy of every master thesis that was produced so far. And with every master thesis there's also a short abstract. And if you read through these abstracts, you get a very good impression of the CME Masters program. So this brings me to the end of my part, but we want to continue, and I would like to ask Kaya to come back in, and I would like to ask her, what made you decide to study CME here in Eindhoven?
Well, first of all, I chose Netherlands because I didn't need to learn another language. English was all I need. And also, compared to other English-speaking countries, Netherlands is one of the cheapest countries that I could choose. Of course, there are other universities who also have CME program, but why I chose the one in Eindhoven is because I didn't want to learn something related to real construction, but more broad, like the combination of management part and engineering part of construction. And what also attracted me is the reputation of TU Eindhoven. Like you already mentioned before, CME program ranked highly in global academic ranking as well as in national academic ranking. And also the 4-TU program that was exceeded from 3-TU program last year. That means you can always choose courses from other universities if you find anything relevant that you're interested in. And what you can also get benefits from is the university program, graduate school. The course you need to take in your study program are divided into 3 parts: core course, specialization, and 3 electives. As you can see from the charts, only roughly 25% of the whole course is core course. That means the rest of the course you can always choose according to your own preference. So if you know what you're interested in, you can always shift your study into that direction. And of course, the freedom in your study is nice, but if you don't know what you want to study, then you can always try different courses or consult your own coach. You will be assigned a coach by the beginning of your study, so you can always ask him or her about your study, your preference, or your concern. Professor Balker, for example, is one of the coaches. So, Professor, what problem do you normally help students with?
The students are requested to make an appointment with one of the coaches, and I'm one of these coaches. And then when they come to me, I will have a discussion with you also. What is your future? So what do you want to be after you received your diploma? Where do you want to find a job? What kind of job are you looking for? What kind of company are you looking for? And then we have a discussion. What is the best choice for you? What courses to choose? such that you are well prepared for your own career. And sometimes students don't exactly know at the beginning, and if they don't know at this first meeting, then we simply make a new appointment to have a follow-up discussion.
Yes. He also gave me lots of advice about how I can choose my courses and about how I can shift my study according to my graduation thesis. It was really helpful. And what attracted me is also the compact campus in Eindhoven. That means you can always meet your colleague in the university, and there's no difficulty to move from one building to another. And as you can see from the picture, when it is nice weather, you can always go out and enjoy the sunshine. For me as well, I tend to study and meet my friends or have a meeting outside when it's sunny. It is always more relaxing than just study indoor. You can also work in the laboratory in your own faculty.
Harry, you were born in Japan.
Yes.
So what's the difference between studying in Japan and studying here in the Netherlands at the TU Eindhoven?
I felt that TU Eindhoven is a really very international school. I can always meet different international students and teachers in the campus. For example, roughly 15% of the whole students in CME program are from abroad. That means even this will be your first time to come here to study, you know that you are not alone. And there are also lots of different study associations, like, of course, as you mentioned before. And besides the one in your own faculty, there's also other study associations. There's even one, especially for international students, it's called Cosmos. They organize lots of different activities. Those include study-related activities such as workshops and presentation from the companies. And they also organize fun activities like glow tour, as you can see from the picture. The first week when you come here is the introduction week, where you can meet your fellow students. And it's a week full of fun activities. You get to know the study associations here and other international and Dutch students. You can already make friends during this week. And it's also good to mention that maybe you come here all by yourself, then you don't know how to do things exactly. Then the university will help you and guide you go through this process. For example, the university will help you with your bank account and accommodation, which is really helpful for the new students. And if you have any other problem, you can always consult international office. They will help you with your problem. But what is the most important to know is that Dutch people are very direct. That means they will really judge your work very strictly, and they will give you lots of advice. Don't take it too personally. It's nothing personal. They just want you to get better and have a better result. So what you need to do is just follow their advice and modify your work.
Yeah, doing a master's is of course means studying, but there's also a lot of cultural events here in Eindhoven. Right at this moment, there's the GLOW event. Yes. Did you already attend the GLOW?
Yes, I already attended the GLOW, and I also attended the Dutch Design Week, which was 2 weeks before. It exhibits different designs and combination of innovation and design from university and also companies. I always go there and look into their design, then I can get lots of different inspiration from their designs. And for the GLOW, like what is happening right now, is a combination of art architecture, and the GLOW show, the light show from Philips. So it's always fun to join a GLOW work all by yourself or just follow a study association.
You have been living here in the Netherlands now for more than 1 year, 1.5 years already. I'm sure you must have an opinion about the Dutch and the Dutch people.
Yeah. I think it's really easy and relaxing when you live here because Dutch people are very open-minded. And first of all, I thought maybe language will be a problem, but it was not, because maybe they'll first talk to you in Dutch, but they'll just switch to English as soon as they realize that you don't speak Dutch. And they are very open-minded. They always help you if you have any problem on the road related to like transportation, and that you don't know about the meaning of the words on the platform. They will always help you with that. And Dutch people always ride their bike to go to everywhere that's nearby. So it is sometimes very convenient, but it's always very convenient and healthy to ride bike to somewhere. And they Dutch still have a season here, like my country. In summer it's very hot and sunny, and in winter it is very cold and windy. And it's very important that you check the accurate weather forecast all the time to see if it's going to rain or not. Or you only need to pack your umbrella and raincoat in your bag with you all the time.
That's a good advice. Which brings us almost to the end. So on this slide, you find all information you need for admission. So the web links where you will find the forms that you need to fill in, and also a mail address where you can ask questions about the application procedure. I also want to repeat what Kai already mentioned, that there's a lot of support, especially for foreign students, to find housing, to fill in forms. So please take advantage from this support. It will save you a lot of time. This brings me to the final slide. Here you find the web address where you can find more information about the CME program. Also, you can send me an email anytime. And at the bottom line of this slide, you'll find a web page where you can create your own account, and then the TUE will keep you updated about any upcoming events. And that concludes our presentation, Simon.